Hey, it's Dave Brown here, host of Now with Dave Brown on AMI. Check out this latest highlight from the show. Canadian Tire has announced the Women's Sport Initiative. The initiative earmarks a minimum of 50% sponsorship dollars towards women's sport by 2026. Here to tell you more is Ashley Curran. Ashley is the Associate Vice President of Community Investment for Canadian Tire. Ashley, thank you for making time to be with the show this morning. I'm grateful.
Not at all. So happy to be here.
So what was the overarching idea behind the Women's Sports Initiative?
Yes. So I lead community investment and the sport partnerships portfolio here at Canadian Tire Corporation. And we have a long history of supporting women in sport. One of our longest standing athlete partners, Hayley Wickenheiser, phenomenal Order of Canada gold medalist, and now practicing doctor. We were founding partner of her women's hockey festival called WickFest. So we've been supporting women for a long time. I think for us, it's always been important to find ways to give women equal treatment, and we know that that's not the case in the sport community, especially when it comes to professional opportunities. So for us, we finally saw enough in the marketplace the last 2 years to keep dialing up our investment in professional women's sport, really in hockey with the PWHPA and the PHF, and always wanted to do more, but the inventory wasn't there. And we finally see enough green shoots in the marketplace to warrant some confidence that we can make a bigger commitment, and that was what we announced last week.
You mentioned that hockey is a big linchpin for this, and that's not surprising considering this is Canada. And I know I know it's still early, but what are some other leagues or sports that at least are in consideration here in regards to the strategy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're running the premier partners for the WNBA preseason game. That's the first time the WNBA has come up here to Canada.
And the ticket sales were amazing on that one too.
Phenomenal. They sold out in record time, I think in one day. So we're pretty excited about that. I mean, I think long term, we'd love to see the WNBA have an expansion team up here in Canada, but for now we'll take the exhibition game. It's going to be a really big moment for basketball. So that's one. The other one that we announced that we're coming on board as a partner as well is Project 8. And if you're not familiar, Project 8 is led by Diana Matheson and Christine St. Clair, and that's going to be Canada's first domestic professional soccer league. Or if you're in Europe, football.
Yeah, we've got to make sure we keep everybody happy there.
Keep all your fans happy, that's right.
In all the years I've worked in media, calling soccer football is one of the things I got the most hate mail for once. So you got to be careful with these things. So
that's right.
So that's the on the field side and the league development side of this. But there's also some money being devoted to the media side of things. Mm-hmm. How is that fund going to work?
Yeah, it's a great question. Listen, it's really hard for these organizations when you're starting out a league, really hard for them to solicit dollars from investors, very hard to solicit dollars from sponsors and from media. And it's a bit of a chicken and egg. Sponsors want the eyeballs that media have. Media want the viewership, and we can't, they're kind of symbiotic. And investors want to know that they can invest in something that's going to pay off down the road. So there hasn't been a lot of data to support this type of investment, which is another area we're investing in. But on the media front, we are going to be dialing up our dollars to make sure that, when we have an exhibition game with the WNBA or we're doing things with Project 8, that they're guaranteed to have coverage on broadcast. And I think that's really important mix of this, because that's how we start building up that fandom.
Yeah, that's something that I've observed the last couple of years as a big college basketball fan. There's been a lot more platforming of the women's college basketball tournament, both on the Canadian side of the border and the American side of the border, which is great to see. I'm curious about the importance of these kinds of partnerships and relationships in the broader growth of women's sports, making sure these professional alleyways and destinations are available for not just women who are elite today, but young people who are aspiring to be part of these leagues and have a career in professional sports.
Yeah. Listen, representation is everything. I know I'm speaking to an expert in this space, but you need to be able to see yourself playing at the most competitive levels of your sports. And right now, women don't have that, girls don't have that role model, and those opportunities are very, very limited. So I think for us, we like to say we've always been about from playground to podium. Now we get to be from playground to podium to professional arena. And that journey starts, when you're 5 or 6 years old, and playing, grassroots sports, house league sports, and seeing that there's a future for you. Girls drop out of sports at an alarming rate. Canadian Women in Sport Institute has some great studies. The Rally Report, which they do for a charity with Jumpstart, can really go into the weeds and talk through a lot of those details. But it's terrifying, especially as a woman, to see that path forward, that women have so many more barriers in front of them. So this is something that we can address at the highest levels, and really hope that more women, more girls will choose to stay in for a longer run.
As you mentioned, there's some immediate sponsorship opportunities here, whether it be that WNBA exhibition game, whether it be a couple of the women's professional hockey leagues, the development of professional soccer in Canada. The goal here is 2026 to get to 50% sponsorship dollars. What do you expect these next couple of years are going to look like as you're moving towards that goal?
Let's be clear. I would love to do this within a year. The inventory isn't there yet. So I think that's why we're giving ourselves a couple years on this journey. I think for us, we're really hoping that we're setting an example and really encouraging other brands to take this leap with us. We can't do this alone. It's not, I think this is something that's bigger than our brand, and something that we need the collective industry, those, on the sponsorship side in sport, the investor community. We need all of those groups to step up and really demonstrate that there's a meaningful market for professional women's sports here in Canada. And I think that's how we all level up. I think it's this, the saying, rising tides, raises all boats. I think that's what we're really hoping here, is that we can help be a catalyst for this movement here in Canada.
Ashley, this is an incredible initiative. Thank you to you and your colleagues for spearheading it, and thank you for making some time to tell me more about it today.
Not at all. Pleasure to be here. Thanks so much, Dave. This was a lot of fun.
That's Ashley Curran, the Associate Vice President of Community Investment for Canadian Tire, speaking to you from Toronto. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV, or download the podcasts wherever you listen. Do you want to dive into more conversations like this? Watch Now with Dave Brown weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern on AMI-TV, or download the podcasts wherever you listen.